second, right? Let's be honest. Fox News has been falling off. I'm tired of Fox News and their fake conservatism. This is bullshit. So when you see Fox News talk about, I want to make this clear. When Fox News talks about anything regarding the liberals and the trannies, I want you to understand Fox News is doing this shit too. And I'm going to show you right now. Is there any reason? Saw Spreader said, I got pulled over, 3 guns, jar of weed, a cooler of beer, going 78 and 55 and Hoosier National. Check license and told me to slow down. No search or bullshit. Oh, man, you bit the bullet right there, didn't you? He said like an hour ago. That's crazy. As soon as I found out Fox News had a female CEO, I knew they were bullshit. See, that's crazy. And here's the thing. I want you guys to understand, it's not that I think any of these news channels are worth a buck. And yes, I know that I'm biased because I'm my own news source. So, of course, I think I'm real news. These people are fake news. But I think that's obvious. But when your Fox News presents themselves and they make you believe that they have the same concepts, the same ideology as us, it's not true. These people are just as woke as anybody else. He said, I'm going to slow down. I think, yes, slow down. You got to slow down. Let me show you this. This is from Fox News. Celebrating diversity.
Pride Month continues as we highlight the story of Rylan Whittington.
No, I want you to see that. I want you. No. I want you to see that.
Pride Month continues.
Look at that. Look at Fox News doing LGBTQ Pride Month, celebrating diversity. Ain't this a bitch? This is your Fox News. So when they tell you they're with, you know the fuck they're not. We're straight month. We're straight Pride Month. Why are we celebrating diversity? So just because Fox News airs Tucker Carlson, I don't want you to get under any idea that these people are on your side. These people are they want them woke dollars. JB, when are you going to show your new, younger, fake girlfriend trying to get the ex jealous? Yes, it's all fake. You're right. I didn't show the last girlfriend, did I, hairy legs? I didn't show the last girlfriend, did I? Hairy legs. Leave hairy legs there. Did I? Was she fake? I find that odd because didn't you try to say, hey, aren't you living off of her because her name was on everything? Ain't that what you said, hairy legs? So was the last one fake that you didn't see? You think this one's fake? Oddly enough, you've heard the voice of both. Make that make sense.
Whittington, whose journey of transitioning at age 5 has been seen by 7 million people in a family YouTube video. Brian Yanis has the story about that family that hopes their experience can help others. Watch here.
If you saw me walking down the street, you wouldn't think anything different.
14-year-old Rylan Whittington is a typical Southern California teenager.
No, he's not.
And the Whittingtons, along with mom Hillary, dad Jeff, and sister Brinley, are a typical family. The only difference, though, in Rylan's eyes, is what this family can mean to the tens of thousands of kids under 18 who identify as transgender.
We put our story out there so people could see that, like, there's another family out there that is going through what we're going through, or there's another family who's proud of who they are.
Before Rylan could even speak, he managed to tell his parents that he is a boy.
I could just see that it wasn't him trying to be a brat.
Understand right now, you have Fox News promoting gender dysphoria. You have Fox News trying to promote this shit. Right now, right here. I wish Putin would blast him, exactly. So you can clearly see. Man, don't fall for Fox News. I'm done with Fox News. Fuck Fox News. If your son or daughter says that he's a transformer, you have failed as a parent. That's exactly right. 100% exactly right.
It was like painful. It was truly painful for him to have to wear feminine clothing and for us constantly telling him that you're a girl.
And unlike some trans kids, When Ryland came out at age 5, a few years later, he had the full support of his parents.
Initially, there was some pushback from us in trying to understand this.
We were confused like most people are. We thought that gender and sexuality were the same thing.
So you took a definition. So you let your child tell you the difference between, you let your 4-year-old tell you, change your mind about the difference between sex and gender? I want you to think about how weak, this is why I don't like people. Do you know how weak you gotta be to grow up your whole life thinking sex and gender are pretty much the same thing, and your kid, your 4-year-old says, nah, Mom, I really am a girl. And you look at this thing and you're like, well, maybe he is a girl. So what do you do when your 4-year-old says, Mom, I really am a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? What's up, Shanice? Beautiful Shanice is in here with us. Society is literally mentally retarded. And Fox News is promoting this shit.
A while to figure out that those two things are different and that children actually do recognize their
What's up,
gender
Ayo?
identity very young. Some of them, not all.
But they listened to Ryland and to Hillary's conservative faith.
For me, it's just a deep spiritual belief that you believe in God and he created us the way he wanted us. Well, then yes, he created Ryland just the way he is.
And they
Well, yeah, he created him as a boy. I want you, what's up, Michael Jackson? Do you hear the retardation come out these people's mouths? They're religious. Fox News, right? I agree with you, Dingleberry. They're religious. They believe in God. But God made the boy trans. If God, do you understand? Can you fathom the concept behind this? Let's just say God did make that decision. If God knew that the little boy was really a little girl, wouldn't he have just made him a little girl? This is how retarded these people are. They legitimately think God made the boy a boy, knowing that he would later transition into a girl. It's nuts. People are whacked in the head, says Shannon. I think they're putting something in the water nowadays. Yes, it's fluoride. It's been happening. We lost 18 IQ points in 2 generations. That was a Harvard study. Let me see if I can find you that study. Give me just a second. Fluoride, Harvard study. IQ points. I believe this is it. I believe this is it. Let me see if you guys can see this. Yes, the impact of fluoride. Let's see, let me go ahead and pull this up here, and we'll finish this. What's up, C45? Impact of fluoride on neurological development in children. Hold on, where's the fucking IQ? Okay, thus children in high fluoride areas Thus the children in high fluoride areas had significantly lower IQ scores than those who lived in low fluoride areas. The children studied were up to 14 years old. Okay, so the average loss in IQ was reported as a standardized weighted mean difference of 0.45, which would be approximately equivalent to 7 IQ points for commonly used IQ scores, with a standard deviation of 15. It says some studies suggested that even slightly increased fluoride exposure could be toxic to the brain. Well, damn. Well, damn. What the fuck? How do we get to this point in the movie? Exactly. Well, there you go. What's up? The beautiful Faith D is in here with us. There you have it. Did you see that shit about sudden adult death syndrome? No, I didn't see that. But there you go. It's a Harvard study. That's Harvard telling you fluoride in the water fucks your children up. Your children are less intelligent than you, and do you see what I'm saying? And listen, you guys can find out how much fluoride is in your water. Go to your local water company's website. A lot of these companies are admitting openly on their website what counties have the most fluoride in the water, all of this. Bottled water is now necessary. Exactly. So just understand. So it's funny because when you said that it feels like people are getting stupider, it's true. What they say, so it's sudden adult death syndrome. That's SADS? That's not even SIDS? What the hell is that? I'm curious about that one. So anyway, the more you know.
They listened to families. They met in support groups.
There was a father who was sitting across the table. He says, "You have no idea how lucky you are to be here."
Fuck that.
Kind of took me back. I didn't at that point consider myself lucky to be there. And he said, you know, our child had displayed this gender dysphoria or this gender misalignment at the same age that Rylan has. And we didn't listen and we pushed back.
That pushback led that child to turn to self-harm as a teenager, which 60% of trans and non-binary kids engage in, according to the Trevor Project. More than 50% consider suicide.
That for me was the turn.
I want you to think about that. I was actually talking to an old girl about this. These gays and trans, they want to kill themselves a lot. Why? Because it's unnatural. They do have harder times than you and I. Why? Because they're doing unnatural shit. Adam says these have to be actors. I think they call drug overdose SADS here. I didn't know that. What I'm saying, of course these people end up committing suicide more. What's up, Suan? Beautiful Suan's in the house. Why wouldn't they commit suicide more? They're setting themselves up for a failure. And so when I see parents like this is child abuse. When I see these parents right here letting their 4-year-old decide that he wants to be a girl, this is child abuse to me. It's that simple.
Point. I didn't want to see Rylan to go through that.
I'd rather have a living son than a dead daughter. I guarantee that if we had pushed back and done what our parents do, I don't think that we would have either one of the kids that you see before you here today.
Allowing him to...
So both children are like that? Come on, man. You don't say... So both children were trans? God made a mistake with both of them? But you're religious? So I want you to think about what this... And you're right, it is a narrative. Think about what they're saying. If we didn't let these kids be trans, we wouldn't have either one of them here today. They would have offed themselves. What? And Fox News is pushing this shit. Common denominator is the parents. Exactly. What's up, Mindy?
Authentically and true to himself and be who he really feels like he is. When you get to know Rylan, you see just how proud and confident he is of himself.
Rylan's story got international attention in 2014 when a family YouTube video went viral, and Hillary has since written a book called Raising Ryland.
I never thought that I would be known for
being a tranny,
this like as well as I am, but really it's just a small part of who I am.
He just brushes things off his shoulders like it's fine. He moves on in his life and he's just kind of think everything we've been through, he's just like learned to do that, and he's really good at it. I could never do that.
The Whittingtons believe sharing their story could make a lasting difference in another child's life, something they learned from that support group.
I'm done with Fox News.
A decade ago.
I'm just here to make the ride smoother for others. You might be
Yeah, does no parent ever just say hell no? That's crazy. This is child abuse. I don't understand it. When your kid thinks he's an airplane, you say, no, son, or daughter, or whatever the fuck he is. No, you cannot jump off that building. You're not a motherfucking airplane.
Struggling right now, but we believe in you, this family. We might not know you, we might not know where you live, but you know, we understand you and we believe in you.
What extraordinary courage displayed by Ryland,
What's up,
his
Jimbo?
sister Brinley, father Jeff, and mom Hillary. I want to thank the Whittington family.
Shut the
for
fuck up.
speaking to
Fox
us.
News
It's
ain't
not
shit.
easy, particularly at a time when transgender issues have been politicized. People are afraid of what they do not understand.
Just so I can show you. Yes, Fox News is saying we're politicizing trans issues. I give up. I give up. I cannot even believe. I mean, I can't believe it. What am I saying? I can't believe this.
Understand, Dana, this family hopes their story will lead to more understanding, more acceptance, and ultimately more love. Dana.
Ryan Yannis for us. Thank you so much.
Very interesting story. Thank you.
Yeah, there you have it. So I wanted to show you, because just in case you're one of those people, one of those mainline Republican people, one of those traditional Republican people, I want you to see this right here and understand that your love for Fox News, you got to understand, you don't love, it's not the same Fox News. The Fox News is just as woke. All it is listen, it's part of the same Operation Mockingbird. For you guys that don't know what Operation Mockingbird, it is where our government, CIA, infiltrated news organizations. It is state-run propaganda. It is state-run news. I understand you think Fox is the opposite of CNN, but it's not. What's up, Tim? So I just want you to control the opposition. Exactly. Just remember this going forward. Remember, Fox News would not talk about 2020 and what happened during the election. Fox News would not talk about let's say, the lab leak theory. Fox News did, when shit got real, Fox News was just as totalitarianism, just as pro-government, just as pro-big government as CNN. Fox News is just as okay with your rights being destroyed. You know why? How I know this? And so are Republicans. The Senate got the vote today. Gun restrictions are coming, and that's going to be where we go into next. So mark my words. I want you to understand, and it's not even just that. I want you to look at this. Sean Hannity proposed check this shit out. Let me go ahead and pull this up. This is going to fuck you up even more. Fuck Sean Hannity and fuck Fox News. Sean Hannity proposed Hunter Biden pardon to Trump following January 6th Capitol protests. Listen to this. Fox News host Sean Hannity pitched a pardon to Hunter Biden to Trump's spokeswoman shortly after the January 6th Capitol riot. According to the report by the Daily Beast, Hannity pitched Trump's spots on a Hunter pardon because he genuinely wanted some healing. Hannity suggested to Kayleigh McEnany that Trump pardon Hunter Biden before exiting the White House in 2021, according to text messages obtained by the January 6th panel. I want you to understand this. Sean Hannity, on TV, in front of you, talked about Hunter Biden's laptop a lot. Now, Tucker Carlson obviously did more, but behind the scenes, Sean Hannity was telling Trump, hey man, before you leave the White House, you should give Hunter Biden a pardon. What? Pay attention. Pay attention to all of this shit. We're going to move on, though. We're going to move on because today we got a big, big report. What pardon for who? Was he even charged? No. But that's what's funny is Sean Hunter Biden hasn't been charged with anything yet. Let that sink in. That Sean Hannity, who did go after Hunter Biden's laptop, pushed for Trump to pardon Biden. And if you really think about it, it was Sean Hannity who was against Donald Trump ever locking up Hillary Clinton. And you know Trump watches Fox News, especially back then. Trump probably listened to Sean Hannity. It was like, all right, I'm not going to lock up Hillary. And what's really strange about that, another Hillary person just got fucking killed. He committed suicide by shooting himself in the face with a shotgun and hanging himself in a tree. It was ruled a suicide. The man shot himself in the, it's the guy that introduced Bill to Epstein, or that used to have Epstein come to the White House. He was the middleman between Epstein and Bill Clinton. Let that sink in. That middleman committed suicide by shooting himself in the face with a shotgun and then afterwards hanging himself up in a tree. That's a hell of a suicide. A preemptive get out of jail free card? Yes. And he would be charged to the exhumed body, and thief bribed him is out of power. No, exactly. So let's go to this.